Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to break down that one thing, in my opinion, that sets Starfield apart and will have me keep coming back over and over again. But real quick, there was a link to a poll down in the description box or the pinned comment about what would be the one thing that has you interested and will keep you interested in Starfield. Is it going to be exploration, planets, and planetary type things, like the fauna and flora and all the different features that kind of populate in the world? Would it be shipbuilding and customization? What about ship combat and docking and boarding and taking over other ships? Or are you more interested in the outpost, cargo links, and crafting? What about those that are interested in character creation, customization, story, and companions? And if something else gets you going about Starfield, just click the other button. But one of the reasons why I'm kind of doing this poll is because after reading a lot of your guys' comments, it's quite crazy all the different things I see people that they're interested in just such different areas of the game that it's not just one thing. And I'm really kind of curious, what is the dominating thing that most people are interested in about Starfield? Now, I would do this poll in YouTube, but I need 500 subscribers to be able to access polls on the channel. So if you don't mind helping out and getting my subscriber numbers up, I would greatly appreciate it, as I don't really want to ask for that too often, but I do want to get access to polls and those kind of features on the channel. All right, so let's just get on with it. So I know a lot of people are going to be very interested in the ship parts of the game, customization and combat and docking and boarding and taking over other ships. And there is lots to love about the ship part of the game. As from what we've seen, from what Bethesda has shown off about just ship customization in Starfield alone, just looks amazing. I mean, they made a mech. Come on, how cool is that? And then the part where you can dock and board and take over other ships and even put them into your fleet is just something I don't think many people really expected from the original gameplay reveal they did last year. But with all that being said about ships, that isn't what is doing it for me. I love the ship part of the game. Don't get me wrong, it looks fantastic. But the part of the game that's doing it for me is really the worlds and the planets and the exploration and just all the different planetary things that just kind of come along with it, like the wildlife and the different features and the different things to come across. And you can tell that Bethesda is very proud of this part of Starfield because that's what they mainly show off when they're really kind of showing off the game. They do a lot of expansive views across a lot of the different worlds to show you the variety, the different terrain and elevation and wildlife. And that's really the part that spaceships kind of don't have going for it. It's just a black background. It's always just going to be mostly black. When you typically see other spaceship games advertise their product, they are mostly showing off spaceship combat in space. And it's nothing but just a black background. There's no sense of real character to it. And that's where when I see combat in space games, especially like some of their advertising material, I couldn't really tell the difference between one game and another. Now, yes, you can tell differences, I get that, as far as like HUD and all that kind of stuff, but it's easy to design and there's not much that really kind of goes into it, as you're just shooting at another ship and it's just mostly black background. Like there's not much that really kind of goes into it. And other games that have shown off kind of planetary bodies or other worlds that you can land on and do things on, they haven't looked nearly as impressive as what Starfield has shown off. From what we've seen with their gameplay footage, from what they've shown off with their different worlds, the far away shots look just as impressive as the close-up shots. They look very lifelike. They don't look dead. You see a lot of these surface imperfections and the rocks and the way the terrain kind of elevates and moves from the mountains to the hills and the valleys. You got different biomes, and then when you put it all together and you add in the lighting and how their lighting model seems to just illuminate the world with just different kind of shadows from the rocks and imperfections and little mounds in the surface and even to the trees, the worlds that they've shown off just look fantastic.
Our next generation lighting model uses real-time global illumination to light the world based on the type of star and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere.
And then we're going to have some flexibility on how different features kind of populate within the world to kind of make the worlds feel more lifelike, like there's things going on. There will be different things that get populated when you load into a certain area of the world. And so it really just kind of opens up the variety of possibilities that you never know what you might come across. So even if you have gone through the same jungle or the same little valley before, you know, that outpost that you come across before might not be there this time. It's really a lot of that kind of stuff that has me really excited about the planetary exploration part of the game, that I think this is what will keep me in Starfield for much longer. And it's not to say that the other parts of the game I'm not interested in playing, or I'm not going to utilize them a lot. I was just trying to narrow it down to the one thing that has me the most interested in Starfield. And trust me, this was actually pretty tough to narrow down just that one thing. But I think about how I felt about the game last year, compare that to this year, and I don't feel more excited about the game this year. And that's after they've shown off docking and taking over other ships, and then also just the crazy amount of customization you are going to be able to do with your ships. To me, I was sold on it last year when they first revealed how the worlds looked. So if you would, hop over to that poll real quick, cast your vote, and I'll share the results next week. And also, if you could, please subscribe so that the next time I want to do a poll, I can set it up inside of YouTube and I don't have to set up an external link. I would appreciate that very much. But I am very much interested in what the survey results will be, so make sure you cast that vote. And let me know what you think. Are the worlds going to keep you interested in Starfield? Or is it going to be spaceship type stuff? Or character stuff? Or outpost and cargo link type stuff? Do you not even like how the worlds look in Starfield? Appreciate you being here. Alrighty, take care.